It's a good bounce back win for us today. I thought we started the game with the right tone on the defensive end. And so that was that was by design.
Everyone was afraid of the announcement, but no one really anticipated it. The relationship between Caitlin Clark and Team USA has not simply been destroyed following months of silence, cryptic interviews, and one of the most contentious Olympic snubs in sports history. It has been totally burned. Fans were expecting for a reunion before the next international cycle, but coach Cheryl Reeve has apparently strengthened her position. This is a startling development that insiders are referring to as the tipping point. Even if you thought the 2024 roster turmoil was awful, what transpired behind closed doors has permanently altered women's basketball's destiny. The relationship between the organization that is meant to represent the sport and its face is completely collapsing. A closed-door training camp that was meant to be a new beginning for the program is the cause of the most recent explosion. What ought to have been Clark's chance to prove herself evolved into an obvious act of contempt, according to leaked sources from inside the gym. According to witnesses, the Fever star was purposefully iced out during pivotal scrimmage runs rather than just being treated like a rookie. While the coaching staff ran plays for veterans who are undoubtedly past their prime, the world's most dangerous scorer was made to stand in the corner. The response Clark allegedly received when she sought clarification on her job was not coaching. Her specific position in the hierarchy was shown by the cold shoulder. This has nothing to do with basketball strategy. It conveyed a message. However, instructor Cheryl Reeve was the true spark that ignited this fire. Reeve has persisted in making remarks that supporters are taking as a direct jab at Clark's playing style rather than easing the tension. Reeves recently responded dismissively to a question from the media about incorporating emerging superstars into the system, emphasizing harmony and paying dues. The Olympic snub is justified by the same old story. However, it feels more intimate this time. The idea that this is no longer about basketball is becoming unavoidable. It's about a coach who won't let a 22-year-old star to control her team's culture. Even if a single person is the only reason millions of people are watching, Reeve seems committed to demonstrating that the system is larger than any one individual. What then did Caitlin Clark do? She didn't complain on social media or have a tantrum. Sources close to her side claim that she essentially resigned silently. According to the allegations, Clark has reportedly turned down invites to future mini-camps, indicating that she is tired of going through the motions for a coaching staff that obviously doesn't want her there. It's a power motion that yells, "I don't need you. I'm necessary for you." Clark is completely shifting her attention to her off-season preparation and the WNBA, leaving Team USA to figure out how to promote a team without the sport's top attraction. She has come to the conclusion that her brand is resilient enough to endure without the Olympic rings. Can Team USA, however, function without her? The headquarters of USA Basketball and their broadcast partners are in complete panic as a result of this quiet resignation. They are familiar with the figures. Clark was the only reason the WNBA's ratings soared. Executives are aware that a 2028 Olympic run without Caitlin Clark would be a commercial catastrophe, even as the national team's viewership has remained unchanged in contrast. There are already rumors that big sponsors are lobbying the federation to step in, which might force them to choose between the generational talent that pays the bills and a Hall of Fame coach. Nike must be pleased with their star athlete being sidelined by a coach who appears to be stuck in the past after investing millions in Clark. The money speaks, and it is currently yelling that this issue needs to be resolved. This isn't only a coach against player feud, which exacerbates the situation. The locker room is being torn apart by it. A new generation of younger talent is seeing this scenario with dread, while other seasoned players are allegedly supporting Reeve because they think the hierarchy should be respected. They wonder if they will be the next after witnessing how the league's face is being treated. The chemistry that Reeve says he is defending is actually decaying from the inside out if the rumors are accurate. Players are reportedly treading carefully because they fear that publicly endorsing Clark may place them on the bench next to her due to the level of animosity. The team's dominance on the international scene is in jeopardy due to the widening gap between the old guard and the next generation. To comprehend why Clark left the camp, we must examine the details of the alleged sabotage. According to insiders, the offensive sets were purposefully intended to prevent Clark from handling the ball. Removing the ball from a playmaker is like cutting their wings in a sport where timing is crucial. According to reports, Clark's teammates disregarded or waved her off whenever she called for a screen or made a move because they were according to the sideline's stringent instructions. It was an embarrassing, pointless exercise. Imagine being reduced to a decoy for the duration of a practice session despite being the world's greatest shot. It's the kind of psychological warfare that breaks weaker players, but for Clark, it seemed to merely make her choice more clear. The consequences go beyond the court and affect USA basketball's reputation in general. The program has taken great pride in fielding the best talent available for decades. They're going against their own fundamental values by alienating Clark. Social media is overflowing with fans who describe the group as a country club where relationships are more important than talent. More people than ever before are questioning the selecting process's integrity. Leaving home the most potent attacking weapon in the game is malpractice if the objective is to win gold medals. It contributes to the developing perception that the current leadership is more concerned with upholding its own toms than with changing the game. A darker hypothesis that this was always the intention is also making the rounds among analysts. The coaching staff may have been attempting to get Clark to quit so they wouldn't have to fire her again by creating such a harsh and unwelcoming environment. Cutting her sparks a media frenzy. Her decision to leave gives them the opportunity to portray her as uncommitted or incapable of succeeding. This is a Machiavellian tactic, but it hasn't worked. The public is largely in favor of Clark, who appears to be the victim of a coordinated freeze-out rather than a quitter. The story that Clark isn't good enough isn't being accepted by the fans. They witnessed her actions in the WNBA. They are aware of the reality. Let's take a closer look at the coach Reeve element. With a trophy cabinet full with rings, Reeve is unquestionably a legend. However, when the game shifts beneath their feet, successful coaches frequently struggle. Clark is an example of a basketball style. Large volume, deep range, velocity, and space that run against the conventional, organized post-heavy approach that Reeve has long supported. There is a philosophical conflict here. Reeve saw Clark as a liability based on his mistakes and defensive shortcomings. The rest of the world perceives a revolution in her playfulness and gravity. Reeve is arguing that her system is more significant than the talent itself by refusing to modify it to accommodate a generational talent. That kind of rigidity typically results in a pink slip in professional sports. The rest of Team USA's lineup is utterly silent. Leaders like Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi may have filled the void in the past, but there is a noticeable lack of leadership right now. The present roster of veterans is in a difficult situation. Stay silent and watch the ship drown, or speak up and jeopardize their own minutes. Clark's sense of loneliness has probably been exacerbated by this lack of outspoken support. Fighting the coach is one thing. It's quite another to believe that your teammates are involved in the abuse. It appears that the WNBA's sisterhood ends at the Team USA training facilities. The problem of the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles is another. Being able to host the games at home is expected to be the pinnacle of American basketball. Caitlin Clark is definitely at the center of the marketing strategy for those games. The ticket vendor is she. At the Crypto.com arena, she is the one who will put butts in seats. The excitement disappears if she isn't on that team. The network that broadcasts the games, NBC, must be extremely terrified of this circumstance. They anticipated showcasing the biggest names, so they paid billions for rights fees. Without Clark, the USA would be akin to the 1992 Dream Team without Michael Jordan. It's still good, but the magic is gone. There will be tremendous business pressure to end this conflict. Here's the twist, though. They are not necessary for Clark. Reeve and the Federation were unable to account for this basic change of power. In the past, women's basketball players could only gain international recognition and substantial endorsement money by competing in the Olympics. There is no longer a world like that. Clark is already well known throughout the world. She sells out arenas in Las Vegas, New York, and Indianapolis. She has millions of fans, signature shows, and ads. It's no longer Sunday, but the Olympics would be a lovely cherry on top. Clark is essential to Team USA's continued relevance in the public discourse. For Clark to be a superstar, Team USA is not necessary. A failure in player development is also highlighted by this particular benching instance. Instead of smashing the parts that don't match your preferred shape, a national team coach's task is to choose the best pieces and fit them together. Outstanding coaches, such as Coach K of the men's squad, modified their plans to accommodate LeBron, Kobe, and Durant's skill. Reeves' unwillingness to do the same for Clark is seen as a coaching shortcoming rather than a player's shortcoming. It implies a lack of confidence and a concern that the coach's power will be weakened if Clark is successful in playing her way. The sport itself is the collateral damage in this ego war. The unmatched league and other off-season factors must also be taken into account.